welcome back to Wolves After Dark, everyone. We are back with a season preview of the 2022-2023 season. We're going to go through every single Timberwolves game, and we're going to pick wins and losses. We did this last year. I believe I was 41-41. Ashwin, you were 43-39, I believe.
Yes, something like that. Yeah,
something like that. And we're going to see if we're homers. We're going to see if we're not homers. There's going to be a lot of experimenting going on, and we'll just have to see. Let's get right into it.
This was a fun project to do last year, mainly because, for the first time, we had D'Lo for a full year, right? For the first time, got kind of like the coach is instilled, and like he's there, the identity is there, but it's kind of foreign to us. But we felt pretty high on the team. We felt like there's a lot of growth that can be had now, and it proved itself through the regular season. It's going to be a very volatile season, but it showed itself as the number one offense in the league, right? We had like the best offense. Our defense was suspect. It was like come and go as Beverly was healthy or not, as Vando was rebounding and doing all those things that he wasn't or not. And, coming to the playoffs, we found ourselves, looking like a young, inexperienced team. And while it could have been our series, it could have been versus the Warriors too. It was just not. And I actually am really happy that it happened the way it did, because we got turnover. We got not a new regime, but we got Tim Connolly to solidify himself and then make turnover happen, not wait for picks to matter. Wait no more. Let's get Rudy Gobert in here and let's shore up our bench with not outstanding vets, but standing vets that have been before, that some even have gone all the way almost, and just people that give a shit, not that are prospects that want it to be their shit, right? So I was really happy that we just got rid of a bunch of baggage and chaff, and I'm sorry that Vando and Beverly were part of that, because they were fun to be rooting for. So it sucks in that regard, but we got Gobert, and now Gobert feels like he's a fit to our team in ways that we have not seen, and ways that we don't need to really venture and pretend that we need Cat to be something that he's not. So this year, coming into this year's season prediction for me, kind of have high expectations and, lofty goals, but not as ridiculously sounding as when we got Jimmy Butler. And I went to my podcast back then and said, we're going to win 73 games. I don't think that's happening. But I do feel pretty high on where we are. I got a little bit humbled the other night when we lost to Brooklyn. But then again, I'm looking at, it's the season just started tonight. And, Boston came to play and their bigs showed out. Embiid doesn't beat things, and he's a big, and he's going to need a body to be playing up against. And we got Rudy Gobert. I cannot believe I get to say that 82 times a show.
Yeah.
We have Rudy Gobert now. And so we get to not really worry about those types of bigs. And we get to show ourselves in a new light. And it feels like a new team, but it's not. And it just feels like we're building for a better future too. All right. Enough of that. I think this season is going to be much better and potentially harder to predict in a lot of ways too.
It is tricky. There's so many different factors to it. The West being stronger, us being significantly stronger. I truly would believe several things if you told me them. If you told me that we were going to be number 1 seed, I believe it. If you told me we'd be 8th seed, I'd be a little sad. But I could believe anywhere in that range. So I guess let's get started, see what we are. I will say, me personally, I am usually a little bit more of a pessimist when it comes to things. So keep that in mind as you're watching this. It's not like I'm this ultimate homer that's going to pick the Timberwolves every time. I'm somebody that will base it off of everything, whether it's crowds, whether it's back-to-backs, things like that. I'll try to pay attention to back-to-backs. I've been pretty bad at that. But home, away, all that stuff, and emotional psyche of Karl Anthony Towns. So lots of different factors are into this. Let me pull it up. I just lost it.
I made a promise to myself to look at Cat, the basketball player, and that's all I'm going to care about. I think I'm going to break that, I've already broken that rule, but I'm going to care a lot less about what he is saying and more about what he's producing on the court. In a lot of ways, this is kind of like a big spoiler for this whole show. This might be the most important year of Cat's career, life, just general, for our team and our future. It's almost not all on Cat, but Cat needs to show out the most out of anyone. We're putting a lot on Ant, and we're putting a lot on like what the offense will look like with Gobert and pick and pops and pick and rolls with Gobert. I think it's going to be how interesting it's going to be to look at Cat and how he finds his way on both ends of the floor and stays efficient. Because the writing is down on the wall, but like I don't know, there could be moves to be made, and he could be a piece to be moved. Like it's kind of crazy to say that out loud as a preview to the season, but it's a we're not going to wait. Is like kind of like what Tim McConnelly just said.
Yeah.
By showing the fact that we just got Gobert.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's just jump straight into the picks and act like my background didn't change. So we are at the first game, the home opener. Timberwolves hosting the Thunder. It's got to be the Timberwolves. I'm going to be there. It's going to be amazing. We're going to have a post-game show after. It might be a little late, but that's because I'm at the game, and now I live very far from the Target Center.
Yeah, soak it all in, too, because, time is fleeting for you in Minnesota. So
certainly
you have to go to all the games you can.
There's a lot of games, too. So I may be going to quite a few, but just to keep everybody in the loop. Next, Jazz Timberwolves. We discussed this earlier in a previous unseen video about the Jazz I mainly discussed it. The Jazz being somewhat motivated to win this game against the Timberwolves. I think they will be somewhat motivated to win this game, but I think even if they're somewhat motivated, it's not happening. Timberwolves win.
It's going to be just this game because like game 4 or 5 for the Jazz, they're going to just trade the rest of their roster. I have this really ridiculous project I'm doing with a friend where we've done literally all of the games. Not just 82 for the Timberwolves, but all 1,230 for every team. We've picked our playoff predictions and finalists and everything. I have the Jazz winning 18 games, so this better not be one of them.
If we're one of the Jazz's only wins of the season, oh my goodness, that's not going to be good.
Like it was really cool when like the Timberwolves were one of the 9 losses for the Warriors when they went like 73-9 or whatever that shit was.
That was cool.
Like, we were one of them.
That was amazing.
Anyways,
I won't.
There's a very, very early look at the forecast of the season. Looks pretty good for us.
Looks really good. The first 7 games, we play the Spurs 3 times. And I think we win all 3. I think we win all 3 games against the Spurs. But I think that the beginning of the season for the Timberwolves is going to be great because it's going to be a great opportunity for us to really kind of get in a groove. And see Gobert and Towns, see D'Lo and Towns, see, we've heard about these combinations of Ant and Cat, and then switching that out with D'Lo and Gobert. So I'm just really intrigued to see those things. And I think going up against tough teams like we did in the preseason, we didn't actually ever play. I mean, the only game we did, we got blown out by the Nets. So that is a little bit of a concern, but it was also the first time that they all played together. So I think having some good games in the beginning of the season is going to be good for us. Good as in bad teams. However, I originally thought the Lakers were going to win this game, the 6th game of the season. But now seeing them tonight, I'm convinced that we will win.
Foresight, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of cheating going on there on my end. Timberwolves Spurs, like I said in my spoiler, they're going to win all those. Timberwolves Suns, I think I have to choose the Suns. I just can't choose.
Why? Because we can't go 8-0.
I just can't choose them to go 8-0.
Are you that much of a hater?
I'm that much of a hater, and I don't know why, but
You're love such a DeAndre Ayton stan.
I just love DeAndre Ayton. And then also it's an away game, but Bucks Timberwolves, I think the Bucks probably win. Yeah, I'm 50-50 on that game. The Bucks.
I want you to do something. Each time you predict a game, scroll up so that you see none of the history.
No, but that's
Because we could have
important.
easily been 9-0 already, but you are choosing to lose because you know.
Like I said, it's the psyche of the team. They are going to be on cloud 9, 7 games in, 7-0. And then they're going to go into the Suns and think, wow, this is
Wow.
easy. We just beat the
Wow.
Spurs 3
Look at
times.
us.
And now it's going to be like, boom, reality. And then another reality game. And then we're going to go
Wow.
up against the Rockets and win. Because it's like, oh, now we've played 2 really good teams in a row, gotten beat badly. So now we need to get back on the winning track.
And the Rockets want Wembanyama, so they're tanking pretty much game 4.
True. And maybe the Knicks are too. You never know. So I'm going to choose the Timberwolves in this one. The Knicks, I'm not worried about. The Suns, this is our time to take it back, and we win this against the Suns at home. Grizzlies, I think the Grizzlies win here. I think the Grizzlies, last year I predicted that the Grizzlies would beat us in every single regular season game, and that obviously did not happen. We even beat them in the playoffs somewhat.
All right, so might as well bet on the Grizzlies this year too, because then this won't happen.
Might as well. They just signed Brandon Clark to a $50 million contract, and that
Fuck
$50 million,
them.
$50
That is
million
so.
dollars
I
to
can't believe
guarantee wins against the Timberwolves.
it. Yeah. Damn it! What a steal.
That is a steal, though. Timberwolves, Cavaliers. I love the Cavaliers. I'm very excited to watch the Cavaliers this year. And I think that they're a decent matchup against us. I think they could beat us. I'm going to give the edge to the Cavaliers. Timberwolves, Magic. The Magic are a team that I need to beat every time this year. I cannot have the Cole Anthony dagger 3 at the end of the game. I can't have that. That hurt my soul so much when that happened. So we need to beat them every single time this year.
Another team that I have going 18 wins,
18.
and then stopping.
I got to do this 1,230 games thing.
It's
I'm so curious.
it's hard. It takes a lot of time, and it's
Well,
also like this site is helping the
yeah.
process, but I've done it manually, literally every game, night by night, and it's a fucking drag. And it really hurts when you're like, I just predicted this team, and it won literally all the games or lost literally all the games. So don't do it, is what I'm trying to say, because it
Well,
hurts.
also the season starts now, so I don't know if I'm going to spend all night doing this. Timberwolves at the 76ers. I kind of think the Timberwolves might win. The
Oh yeah,
Timberwolves, I think the 76ers might be in panic mode at that moment. They honestly, so we're just past opening day. Although I liked the 76ers coming into the preseason, I've kind of been falling out of that a little bit now. I think that Embiid truly is a great player, but relies so much on foul calls that it's just like you can't that maybe can win you some regular season games, but that's just not going to take you that far. And we have a lot of bigs now, so even if we got in foul trouble against him, we're good. I mean, we're
we have
stacked.
5 bigs.
We have 5 bigs, and I
That's
mean,
30 fouls.
it's a lot of fouls, and then you could even throw in like Jaden in there. Like, there's just so many things going
We
on there.
could throw in Jaden in there. He's like 7 foot tall now.
He's the tallest person on the team, basically.
Maybe 6'11" with his cornrows.
True, yeah.
Or dreads. I don't know. Cornrows.
But I do like the Timberwolves to win that game, and then I also like
Yeah.
the Timberwolves to beat the Heat.
Yeah, I like this from you. The optimist this year.
A little
You're
bit.
now Optimus Prime as opposed to reserved / deflated Godfrey Chamberlain. um, yeah, I agree with you on the Sixers, actually. I think everyone in media standom has the Sixers going off this year, and like Embiid's a MVP candidate. I think the Heat are in a bit of a dose of reality too. I think the East is strong. I think the Celtics, the Bucks, even like the Hawks are going to be just like gunning for every team, and I'm really excited about what the Boston Celtics have done, getting Malcolm Brogdon. Like I know I'm not rooting for the Celtics, but like what they did was great in the long grand scheme of things because I hate both these franchises. So seeing us win in your eyes is really is heartwarming to me. I like that.
And this is where I get into my little bit of BS where I think We're playing at home against the Heat. We still, all the fans here hate Jimmy Butler. They get so hyped up for these Heat games. It's just going to be all about beating Jimmy Butler again, and everybody's going to be excited. We're going to need another Gabe, or no, what was it? Who did Ant dunk on? I can't remember their name.
Gabe Vincent.
Gabe Vincent. Yes, I was mixing up football and basketball for a second. But yes, but yeah, on to the next Timberwolves versus the Pacers. Got to choose
That'd
the
be so good if we
Timberwolves.
actually got to like remix and get that actual dunk in.
Oh man, they should just overturn it. They should just
Yeah, give us a free plus and one. Yeah,
yeah, we should
yeah.
start
We
the
beat the
game
Hornets.
2-0.
We beat the Pacers. I feel real bad about the Hornets.
I do
I
too.
have I have them winning 13 games this season, and I don't even remember where the wins came from.
I just don't, and I hate to say this because Brantley, friend of the show, has
Yeah,
is a big Hornets fan. They're to the Hornets. Maybe this is just me as a fan of a different team, but or like a totally different everything. I just have such low hopes in the Hornets in every way. I don't necessarily hate LaMelo Ball, but like just the team construction and just everything that has ever been the Hornets, I just am like I have such a bad connotation with them that like you picking all the games, I don't think I would pick them to win a game just because I don't know who they are going to beat other than like the really, really tanky teams like the Rockets, the Jazz. Like those are like the only games that I can guarantee that they have a chance to win.
you know,
Um,
a lot of this is because I don't know the status of Miles Bridges,
yeah,
um, and I don't think he's a one. Like he's not like your star player,
no,
and he has his own issues now domestically and off the court. But like this team looks like a shell of themselves that didn't really happen, right? So it's LaMelo and I don't know who else is there.
yeah,
So I feel for them, but I don't know. This is a season where I'm going to give so little fucks about other teams this year, and really just like care about how we progress as a team, as a
yeah,
franchise.
same. I'm very excited for this season for us, but I think we lose to the Warriors. um, I'm going to choose the Warriors. Um,
You're going to choose bullying
I'm going to choose yeah bullying. I'm going
and
to choose
violence.
violence. Um, I think the Warriors are going to be good this year, and I think that they're going to be a better regular season team than they were last year. Um, they're just going to have more health going into the season, and I think that's going to be good for them. But um,
Yeah,
Timberwolves, Wizards, Timberwolves,
yeah.
um, Timberwolves, Grizzlies. I'm going to say the Timberwolves win this one at home against the Grizzlies.
On
We
a
get our.
Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday. Yeah.
It's
um,
Wednesday, my dudes.
isn't that students night? I can't remember. $10 tickets or something like that. Thunder, I can't not pick the Timberwolves. Pacers, I pretty much can't pick the Timberwolves. I mean, the Pacers are just like a weird team right now that I don't know what they're gonna do. Um, but I can't choose them to beat us right now. Timberwolves, Jazz, again, we're deep in the season now. Like you were saying earlier, I'm not expecting the Jazz to care at this point. Maybe in that second game, but by this point, this is full on tank mode. They're gone.
This is December,
Yeah, they're
so
gone deep. What is this? December 9th. Oh, that's my birthday. Perfect.
oh
Just doxing myself. But this is another weird thing about this schedule, as you'll see. So the right is home games, the left is away games. We just have these massive swings back and forth of like 5 games away, 3 games at home, 5 games away, and like
yeah.
also back to backs. Look at this. We play the Trailblazers at the Trailblazers in two out of 3 nights in a row. So it's just like we stay in Portland for 3 or 4 days. Um, super weird.
Wow.
I'm gonna split the series here. I'm gonna say the Timberwolves win the first one, lose the second one. Yep.
Yep.
And then Clippers, man. I mean, we play pretty well against the Clippers in the preseason, but what does that mean really? Um, Honestly, I think I like the Timberwolves here. The Clippers should scare me on paper, but I think they don't. Um, Kawhi, of course, is a problem. Paul George can be a problem. Um, Reggie Jackson, for some reason, is a thorn on our side. But I just think that I don't have 100% confidence that by this point in the season they're going to be 100% healthy, and I think that's going to hurt them, literally, and in wins and losses. So I'm going to choose the Timberwolves. Timberwolves Thunder, Timberwolves, Timberwolves Bulls. Man, the Bulls are another one of those teams where it's like they could kind of win on every night. They're not like super disciplined. I'm not saying that Timberwolves are, but like they're just a team that could go off on a night and just like really blow the doors off a team. But they also could come out and just like, Zach LaVine shoots 30 times and makes it 10. So there's a lot of possibilities. And DeRozan could go crazy, or he could be very, very quiet. There's not really much in between on that team.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
the Bulls, like, they're pretty guard heavy, and I think that is maybe a strength against us, where we might have more big depth, and it's not going to really matter. And in some instances, I don't really know who their bigs are that are going to like really worry or frustrate us, but they could probably handle our guards, and I think for toe to toe, they'll probably outscore them as well. I think the Bulls are a really hard team to predict. Kind of like another team in the West, the Kings. They have a lot of like exciting players. The depth is there, and maybe not spread out all the way through. So
yeah, I think, man, I'm very 50-50 on this game, but it doesn't matter that much, so I'm just going to choose the Timberwolves. Mavericks against the Timberwolves twice in Target Center in a row, Monday, Wednesday. Again, really weird. I'm going to split them. I'm going to say the Mavericks win the first one and the Timberwolves win the second one.
I have the opposite, but I also
Okay.
feel like I feel the same way as in terms of it's really weird that we play the same team twice in a row and in the same location.
It just is so
But
strange.
this is a weird team for me. I don't think I am as scared or as high or as like optimistic about Dallas this year. I think they're going to miss the hell out of Jalen Brunson.
I think so too.
And what they got in Christian Wood is not. I
No.
don't think it's like a net positive. Um, I think they have like JaVale McGee.
I
No,
can't
they have
remember.
someone else starting at center, and so they have Christian Wood coming off the bench.
Yeah,
And
and then he tweeted like LOL or something like that.
LOL, yeah. I'm not worried about this team. I think there's a lot relying on Luka, and he can handle it. But like,
Yeah.
he's been handling it this long already.
Yep.
We saw James Harden like become a shell of himself when he was like, became 30. And so this like Luka, I don't know how long he's like still super young. It's just like this much heavy load all the time. Like he's gonna
Yeah.
break, and he's broken already. So
like you said, he can put the team on his back and win any given night, but can he do it every given night? Probably not. And also, as we've seen in the playoffs with them last year, a lot of their success rides on their 3-point shooters that he's kicking out to making shots, like the Reggie
that's what they're
Bullocks.
making.
So it's like they're not going to hit it every single game. So, but when they do, it's kind of like the Warriors when it's like, okay, if they're going to hit every three they take out, no matter how ridiculous, then I mean, you're going to lose. And then also, they still have Dwight Powell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice comment. Okay, yeah. No, he kicks our ass is basically what you're trying to say.
Yes.
And we have a Luka stopper though in Jaden McDaniels. So
in Luka Garza.
Yeah,
Luka v. Luka. Anyway, Celtics. I don't think we win against the Celtics. I think the Celtics are looking really good this year.
They're looking really good this year.
It's going to be scary. I feel this weird confidence against the Heat. I'm just going to take the Timberwolves, even though it's an away game. I just like that. The Pelicans, another fun team. I don't think we have played them to this point.
It's the day after Christmas.
Is this the day after Christmas? Wow.
Yeah, and that also means that we're not scheduled for Christmas Day games.
Oh, yeah, true. I guess I realized that when they came out with the schedule, but I totally forgot until now. No Christmas jerseys, and our jerseys suck. But
oh my God.
Yeah, that's a whole different topic. But one of them I'm okay with. The new one that they haven't even fully released, like officially yet, the one with like the colors and whatnot.
Bob Dylan thing.
Dude, I hate it. It's the worst. It's not even like the Bob Dylan mural. It's like some weird other, like it looks like an Olympic jersey. Anyways, Pelicans. Honestly, I think the Pelicans could beat us. I think they're going to be jazzed up this year. That's a bad word to use, but they're going to be excited to have such a good team, and if they stay healthy, they're gonna be a contender for, I mean, certainly playoffs and probably above the play in. I don't even know.
Yeah, I have high expectations for them. I think they're just a jacked team. They are so deep, and they have a
Yeah,
lot of tall dudes, and they have some really good, efficient dudes, and guys that can take over in any type of form.
yeah.
Zion, CJ, Brandon Ingram. I mean, that's all you need, really.
Hmm. It's scary. Bucks. I'm gonna choose the Bucks. I don't remember if I chose them earlier or not, and I'm not gonna scroll up.
You did.
Okay, did I? Well, darn. They're gonna beat us twice, I guess. Um, Timberwolves, Pistons again. Well, I do like the Pistons as a fun, exciting team to watch. I don't like them as a team to win a lot of games. I liked it more when they were hypothetically signing DeAndre Ayton because, as mentioned previously, I'm a big DeAndre Ayton fan for some reason,
Yeah.
and I would have loved to watch that team, but I still think the Timberwolves should be winning these games against them.
That's New Year's Eve, and the game starts at 7. So by the time you guys get out, it's gonna be like 9:30, 10.
Whoa,
Whoa, that's gonna be a crazy night out in
fireworks!
Minneapolis.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be crazy. Um, Nuggets, also a new team that we haven't played yet this year. Um,
Brand new team.
it's Man, the Nuggets are another tricky one. This is going to be interesting because you're going to have three of the top four centers in the league basically in the same game.
Luka
So
Garza. Who
Luka
else?
Garza, Naz Reid,
Hmm.
and what is it? Oh, I can't remember. I was going to try to. They have like a backup center that's actually kind of good. Um, Starts with like an N, I think. NJ.
Zeke Naji.
Yeah, yes, that's what it is. Thank you. No, but that's going to be an interesting one. I s- I'm going to choose the Nuggets just to throw a random one out there. I actually think the Timberwolves will win this game,
Bold.
but I'm choosing the Nuggets just because I guess I felt like I had chosen a lot of Timberwolves, but I hadn't. Anyways, Trailblazers, Timberwolves. We're at home. Choose the Trailblazers, or I choose the Timberwolves. My God.
Yeah.
um, and then we're almost halfway to the halfway point. Clippers, Timberwolves. I'm gonna go back. I know I said we were gonna beat the Clippers earlier. I'm gonna say the Clippers win this one. I'm surprised we beat them at home, and then they beat us at our home. Um, and
That's
then
how it
for the
is.
halfway point, Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Cool.
I like
And
it.
we're not gonna choose. I'm not going to look at where I am yet, but I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna scroll down so you guys can see where we are, so that you can kind of follow along. But I'm going to look away. Ashwin, if you want to, you can as well. I'm just making sure it's
Yep.
there.
Now scroll back up. Scroll back up. All the way
Okay.
up. And go all
Oh,
the way up.
all
Yeah.
the way up.
We're done.
Okay, good. Thank you.
They
I
got a
wasn't
glimpse. They got a 2-second glimpse of it.
2-second glimpse. That's all you get.
That's all you get.
Um, Perfect. Beginning the halfway point of the season, second half of the season. Timberwolves,
It's looking
Pistons.
strong. It's strong. A strong first half of this year,
It
according to
is.
Cameron.
Oh, is it? Okay, good. I like that. Um, Timberwolves, Pistons. I choose the Timberwolves. Timberwolves, Suns. Uh I'm gonna go with
Fucking
the
do this.
Suns.
You did it again to me.
I think the Suns are gonna win.
I picked the Suns as well.
Oh, did you? Okay, good. Um, Cavs, Wolves. Um, I think the Cavs win. Just a gut feeling for that one. I have no analysis on that. Jazz, Timberwolves, as mentioned earlier, they do not care at this point. Timberwolves. Um, Nuggets, Timberwolves. I'm going to choose the Timberwolves. I feel like we do good in what used to be called Pepsi Center, as now is something else.
Really? I didn't know that.
I don't know. It felt like we played well. I remember Andrew Wiggins
Oh
dunking
man, some
on
like
Jokic.
FPX or something, some NFT thing, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it probably is some weird crypto thing. Um, Raptors. We get to play the Raptors, the true North. Who is the battle of the North, I should say.
Yep.
Um, I'm gonna choose. I'm gonna choose the Raptors.
Wow.
It's
Look at
kind of
this
a
guy.
weird.
You guys follow this guy on fucking Twitter
Yeah,
and other sorts of media?
kind of an interesting one. But the Raptors, I think we just never take seriously. Not that I think we are a better team than
I
them,
don't
but
think you're wrong. I don't think the league ever takes them seriously.
that's
They
true.
don't have the star. They don't have that star player. Their biggest star, you could say, is like Pascal Siakam. Nope. Or Fred VanVleet. Nope. They don't really have a star. Scotty Barnes is a superstar in the making. That's going to take some time, and the league has to take notice. And like LeBron has to retire like tomorrow for that to happen. Right? There's only like that much space for like LeBron-like player to be in there. And I love everything about this team. I wish in some parts that our team looked like their team, and I'm heavily rooting for them in the East.
Mm-hmm.
Not when they play the Timberwolves, but
Yeah,
every other game.
true. Timberwolves beat the Rockets. Timberwolves. Okay, this is another one of those weird things. We play the Rockets at home, and then we go to Houston for the next game. Just kind of odd.
Just one flight away.
Just one, yeah, one flight. I guess the same time zone. Timberwolves Pelicans. This is so dependent on injuries. I mean, obviously, we're so deep into the season that like doing these predictor things are just kind of funny. You have to kind of just guess.
Well, we're gonna be 100% healthy with 100% way on the way.
Well, yeah, health for us, but I was more so thinking health for the Pelicans. I'm more so worried about their health than our health. But
Zion, 20 games in. Is he still there?
yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. I'm going to choose the Timberwolves then, just because I'm on the fence about that. But like we said earlier, I do like the Pelicans this year, and I'm very excited to watch them. Grizzlies at the Timberwolves. Yeah, I think it's Friday night. We're going to be all juiced up at
First
Target
game
Center.
of a 6-game homestand.
Yeah, we're going to be ready, and it's cold. It'll be January 27th, so it's probably going to be like -10.
Oh my god.
Crazy. Not where I'm going to be living though. It'll be nice and like 32 or something.
120 feet up in the air.
Yeah. Kings. I think I'm going to do some weird stuff. I think the Kings split the series with us. Sabonis goes for 2020.
Wow.
And we have to relive our one experience that we had at B-Dubs where the Kings came back from like 30 down with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
One of the best experiences ever, man.
That was probably the beginning of this podcast, to be honest.
It was a highlight.
Yeah.
It really was.
Warriors, Timberwolves. I don't think the Timberwolves get swept by the Warriors this year, so I'm going to choose the Timberwolves. I'm saying everything backwards today. Magic,
say what you hear, you know.
Timberwolves.
Hear what
I'm
you say.
going off of my wish of we have to beat the Magic every game. If we don't beat them every game, the season is a failure, and we should just fold the franchise.
We should just probably split the Nuggets.
Probably. But yeah, it's back to back. I see what you're saying. Yeah,
like if I get a 10-piece, I give you 5.
Speaking of which, I went to what am I saying? I was going to say Hot Topic. I went to I went to McDonald's today.
Oh yes.
Of course, McDonald's, Hot Topic, very similar. But I went to McDonald's today because they released the Halloween pail bucket things that they had back in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
I remember those. Those were fucking dope.
So I got a Happy Meal. It was amazing. And I got a free water, and Maddie got an apple juice. Anyways, here's another away stretch. Again, Timberwolves beat the Jazz. I'm going to choose the Grizzlies this time. Kind of splitting the series with the Grizzlies, and I think that makes sense. Pretty similar teams. There is the possibility, I think, that like Gobert changes our dynamic with them so much that it eliminates both Ja Morant's driving ability and it eliminates Brandon Clark's rebounding ability to the point where we maybe can just have a really successful time against them, just the matchup wise. But I guess I won't believe it until I see it, kind of, just because Brandon Clark, I still have nightmares about him.
I think this is an original thought from me and not from a previous recording from you.
Definitely. Okay.
That there's a rivalry budding with these two teams. And I think it's really cool that we finally are getting some of this back. I am hype for whenever we play the Grizzlies. I want to recall the times when he dunked on us and we just throw it right back in his face. I want to slam on him. I know we lose probably a game or two this year, but I can't wait to like play them in the playoffs again. I can't wait to like take them down.
I agree wholeheartedly with that statement. I do think this is a fun rivalry, and one of there's not many sports where we can say in Minnesota that we have rivalries, because even like Green Bay, like the Packers and the Vikings, it's like the Packers don't really view the Vikings as like their.
No, we want them to be.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been a one-way conversation.
Yeah, we're like, oh, we hate Wisconsin, and they're like, okay, cool, we don't care, because theirs is the Bears. And Timberwolves haven't really had, like, we had beef with some teams, like, for example, Jimmy Butler, but we don't have a problem with the Heat. And like, we didn't really have so much of a problem with the 76ers so much when he was there. It was just Jimmy Butler. so to have a real rivalry beginning is fun, and I do like to dislike the Grizzlies. It's very fun.
Yeah.
Um, all right, we're almost 3/4 of the way through the season. Timberwolves, Mavericks. I'm gonna choose the Timberwolves. You know, you've kind of convinced me off of this Mavericks. I mean, I wasn't like super high on the Mavericks, but um, I do think that Jalen Brunson was a huge part of their team, and I think that even though they have Spencer Dinwiddie, it's gonna be he was a good sixth man for them. But I don't even know what their starting lineup is. Is he in the starting lineup now?
I actually think I don't have an answer for you because I don't know. But I do think that they have Tim Hardaway Jr. back, and I think it's between
Oh,
one of
that's
those
right.
two.
Yep.
And I would probably think that it's going to be neither of them, and it's going to be some other dude that we don't know.
Probably, yeah. They're gonna have. Oh, they just signed Compazzo, didn't they?
Compazzo.
The guy from Denver.
They got Compazzo.
Somebody just signed him, and it might have been. You should look that up because I think that just happened.
Oh, I'm gonna
Um,
look it up, and my camera's gonna go away. So I'll
oh,
see you
that's
guys later.
right. I forgot.
You
But I
told me to
think that
do it.
just happened today, so we'll see. But
Well, it's not ESPN top headliner, so it
I
probably didn't
assume
happen.
not. Yeah. But I think they signed him, which
They
makes some
did.
sense.
They got Compazzo.
Wow, look at me. I know things. Um, but anyways, on to the next game. Wizards at the Timberwolves. I'm gonna choose the Wizards. I think I definitely didn't do this in a other recording that we definitely didn't do just yesterday. But
You were so
I'm
high
choosing the
on that
Wizards
team.
for no good reason. Okay, I'm not saying that the Timberwolves are worse than the Wizards and that Bradley Beal is just like so much better. That's not what I'm saying. I just think that there are games throughout the season that you lose, and this happens to be the one. I don't know why. Um, I can't see us losing to the Hornets. I can see us losing to the Warriors. This is kind of an interesting little trip here. Warriors, Clippers, Lakers, Kings.
We do
Uh,
that twice a year.
yeah, this is
Sometimes with the Jazz splashed in. Those road trips always suck for us.
they do. I'm gonna choose the Clippers. I'm actually gonna choose the Lakers too.
Dude,
Kind of
I'm
crazy.
so upset with you.
Yeah, but I think we beat the Kings at the Kings. Um, 76ers at the Timberwolves. I'm gonna choose the 76ers. I'm high on the Nets right now, but that's mainly just because we've just got beat by them in the preseason, which apparently matters to me.
Yeah,
Um,
they look really good,
they do look
for
good.
sure. This is game 68. They are not going to be the same team that they started the year with. They're probably going to be maybe more evolved. But if things went wrong, they are going to trade.
Yeah.
It's like because apparently there were some trade demands, right?
Yep.
And I think their roster looks great. I also feel like it's just because of the gravity of the two players, right?
Mhm.
Simmons is going to be the reason why this team wins like 55 wins or not. I think that a healthy KD and Kyrie in the postseason is going to be their means to success, but they need to just get in, right? So I'm actually a little bit lower on the Sixers as well as the Nets in terms of their overall win total, just because of the fact that I think that they don't really have a third or fourth piece that matters like ultimately to take over a game. I don't think Simmons can. My 2 seconds, like my 24 seconds thought on the Nets are, I think they rely too much on Kyrie and KD to get them there, and I think they're going to be missing some time. I think they're going to find a game like this, then you'd be like, let's rest, let's just not make this road trip. So
Yeah, that's true. And honestly, the thing about the Nets, it's similar to I can't remember what other team I was saying this about, but like it just so much like you were just saying depends on the beginning of their season. Because if they aren't good in the beginning of the season, like 20 games in, and they don't have a winning record, it's time to blow up.
it's
Like
time to point
there's
fingers and shut
yeah,
down. Yeah,
yeah. There's not a way that they stay together at that point. And even if they do somehow stay together, they're not playing. Like Kyrie's going to be sitting out, KD's going to be sitting out, Ben Simmons is going to be sitting out. It's not going to be pretty. So it, I feel like this is a very either you see them at like the bottom five of the East or you see them in the top five of the East. That's my thing. Because if they're doing well halfway through the season and they're not trading, then they're probably doing really good.
yeah,
So, but we'll see. It just totally obviously we're deep enough into this prediction that it doesn't. I mean, it's
yeah.
impossible to
I
know that.
have them winning, 50 some odd games, so I think that they're gonna be fine. But
Nice.
and
I
there's a
love.
chance, that you just said that they
Yeah,
could be a bottom five team. Like
they
something
could.
does not go right.
Yeah, because it's not as much of a lock as it is on paper. um, Timberwolves at Hawks. I'm a big non-believer in the Hawks. You're a big believer in the Hawks.
I'm a big
Um,
believer in the Hawks this year.
I, however, I still think that the Hawks could beat us, and I am going to choose the Hawks in this one. But do you have any? So I'm not a big fan of their move to get Dejounte Murray. Um, I just I don't know. I think that he had inflated numbers at the Spurs. I'm not saying that he wasn't skilled because like he's getting triple doubles at the Spurs, and maybe he does. Maybe he does with the Hawks, but I just don't see how much that adds, and it sounds like you do see how much that adds to them.
Yeah, my like 24 seconds on this team is I think Trae Young is like an awesome player. Like I hate the guy, but he's an awesome player, offensively gifted for sure. But their best player now is Dejounte Murray on both sides of the ball, as well as to be able to control the ball. When Trae goes to the bench, that team looks different. In former years, in prior years, they look so much better now, and I think they have more shooters than they had. Maybe they lost Herter, but they gained other and like you could even put Trey off ball. That sounds really scary because you don't know where he's going to land. He could pull like Steph Curry like screens, and then
Mhm.
they have lob threats for days. And I think that's going to win a lot of games just by being able to just like blow out the scoreboard in the first three quarters of every game.
You want to do a bet? Not for anything. We won't put anything up, but I assume you have the Hawks over 50 wins.
I actually do not.
Oh, what do you have them at?
48 wins,
48 wins.
which is
Um,
I think it was hard to do, man. And if I were to do this all over again, yeah, let's do a bet. Like Hawks over what? Like what other team were you thinking?
well, no, I was gonna say like a certain amount of wins. So I mean, I guess you think over 48, I think under 48.
Okay, cool bet. Let's
Deal.
do it.
That's a fun one. Um, all right, Celtics. I choose the Celtics. Timberwolves, Bulls. Choose the Timberwolves. I think it. I'm not feeling so strong about the Bulls anymore.
Yeah,
I like DeRozan. I obviously like Levine. But how much do I like them as like a pair to like win them a bunch of games? I don't know. But
this is a team. I feel like we need to beat these types of teams
yeah,
to us to like feel like we're a title contender, and I think it's going to feel good to win these games. We also need to be the team. We're probably one of the hungriest teams in the league right now. We need to probably win the most games this year. Uh, we beat the Bulls.
yeah. I say we'll beat the Raptors. We'll beat the Raptors in Toronto. Claim the North back. Toronto. My goodness. Timberwolves at Knicks. Timberwolves. I think I have to choose the Timberwolves there. Hawks at Timberwolves. Choose the Timberwolves this time, so we split with the Hawks. I'm gonna choose the Warriors again. Timberwolves over
Yeah,
the
this
Kings.
is funny, right? Game 75.
Yeah,
Like we might be playing their bench.
yeah, that's
This is the
true.
time when they're probably going to be like, let's just rest most of our players right now.
That is definitely a possibility. I kind of forgot about that.
No, you still
Um,
probably should take the Warriors anyways. It's like a good bet, but just like I'm just thinking out loud with Game 75 out of 82. They're not here to be the one seed. They're here to like shut us all up, but then say, hey, we're going to win this. It doesn't matter where we are.
well, yeah, and I think that they did that last season. I mean, they weren't the one seed, they weren't the two seed last year. So, I mean, they can kind of work their way through the playoffs however they really want to. So they can
Yeah.
rest at the end of the season. They don't care about seeding,
Right.
unless there's like an absolutely obliterated team somehow that's like going to be well. It wouldn't even matter because it's the play-in tournament. So there's lots of different factors, but they don't care where they are because they can make their way through the playoffs just fine. Um, Timberwolves Suns. I should probably not choose the Suns again, but I want to for some reason.
I think you should do how you feel, man.
I think I'm going to choose the Suns.
Wow. Look at that fucking traitor.
Lakers, Timberwolves.
Eaton Stan.
I think it's Lakers are another team where, like, at this point in the season, like similar to the Nets. Like if they aren't doing well, like things are going to probably look different. I don't
I
know how,
believe
but
all of the last 10 games for the Lakers are going to matter so much more than any other team in the league.
oh, they will. I mean, I guess if they still have everybody there, and if they're close to a playoff seed, I don't know. It's going to be tricky. What do you have their wins at for the season?
I haven't finished the 1230 project.
That's right. That's right. I forgot. Yeah.
And I've left the Lakers off because I kind of giggle every time I'm thinking about them as winning a game,
Yeah.
uh, because I don't think they're winning many games. I think they're going to be um, not the bottom of the West, but the top of the bottom of the West, if that makes sense. They are
Yeah.
going to be in batting order, like ninth or 10th or 11th. And if they're higher, they have exceeded expectations. They've traded for someone that's like a Bradley Beal or like, like a um, Eric Gordon or something like that. So, just like disgruntled, and they pop off.
Yeah.
Because right now they don't have any 3-point shooting, and they have a team built around two ball handlers and Anthony Davis, who's refusing to play the five. Right. So it's like that team is pretty poorly built, and it's kind of awesome.
It is pretty awesome. For some reason I did think coming into this season that they might be a little better. Maybe because I was really on like a Pat Bev high, and I thought that he would really like do it.
What he's doing, yeah, what he's
I
doing
just
for that team is not anything what he's doing for what he did for us, because
it's
we're just a
yeah,
bunch of young, unproven, like
exactly.
headless chickens,
Yep.
and that team it's one way highway, a one lane highway.
Mm-hmm.
There's no alternate path.
No, that is exactly the right point. I mean, we were young. They are. I mean, LeBron's been in the league for 20 plus years. These are. It's different. It's just different. um, so I'm not as
Fucking
high
LeBron.
anymore. I think I'll choose the Timberwolves here. It could be a little weird because we could be in a situation this late in the season where maybe we are resting people at this point. I don't know. I have no idea what the West will look like, but probably not. I mean, we're not going to be number one seed at this point. Um, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if we could be that high. Um, Timberwolves at home against the Blazers. It's a back to back. No, it's not a back to back. I thought that's a Saturday. I feel like I'm choosing the Timberwolves too much over the Trailblazers, but I'm just gonna do it because they could also be at this point. They might be tanking actually because I don't think they're going to be that high in the West, even though they may be healthier and maybe they have gotten a couple different pieces in the offseason. I mean, they don't have like pieces, but um, they could be healthy. They could win games, but I don't know. I'm just not a big believer. Nets. I'm choosing the Nets. I just went to the top there for a second. I do like the Nets. But as we just mentioned, things could be chaotic. They could be down to like rookies and free agents at this point. So, or they could be full fledged, like top of the East. I don't know. Spurs, Timberwolves. I'm going to say the Spurs get their revenge for the first 3 games of the season, and they somehow beat us in the 81st game. And to
I
finish it
think
off,
you're lying out of your teeth. I think you saw your win prediction and you were trying to stick to this little stupid thing of 52 wins. So eat it.
no, I'm not.
Yes. Stop
You know
lying to me.
why? I can prove. Oh, it's on the screen. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
I was not, but I
Okay,
was going
cool.
to choose
That's
the
fine.
Pelicans as the last one. So,
Oh,
um, there we go.
you are such a
51.
hater.
I'm a hater.
I
What do
think
you
in
think?
a world, and I'm not trying to I wasn't trying to call you out. I was just being silly. That could have been the Denver year of 2018, the Denver versus Minnesota, where we lucked in, or we won game 82, the play in, like the pre-play in game, right? The game 82 versus the Pelicans has a potential a lot going on because they are trying to find their way out of the play-in. We are trying to not be part of the play-in. And I don't think we're going to be resting that day because I think we want seeding, and we could be a 4-5 matchup versus the Pelicans. Like, we have very similar goals and aspirations this year.
Yeah.
Young players that are kind of like pushed into stardom before stardom even happens, right? And they're big, we're big. We have defenders. They have Herb Jones, and they have a pretty solid bench. I don't know 100% who they are, or who they have, but pretty solid bench. I think Game 82 is going to be pretty great. Maybe the game. Not, I wouldn't say the game of the year, but maybe. Maybe.
It's possible, and if how I chose these games to go out, it could be kind of bad, because I chose the Nets, the Spurs, and the Pelicans to win. Um, I think you're right. I think these last few games are going to be very meaningful for the Timberwolves. Um, I mentioned it earlier. I won't be surprised to see the Timberwolves in a many different spots. Like I mean, I'm going to be surprised if they're number one, but like it wouldn't be like totally unheard of in my brain to think of them as the number one seed because I think that they could be a good regular season team. Um, but I definitely wouldn't be surprised if we were the sixth seed at the end of the year. I'd be disappointed. And I'd certainly be disappointed if we were the seven or eight seed out of the play-in. Um,
Yeah.
but I can see all of those as a reality because we're Timberwolves fans. So we've seen the bottom and we haven't seen the top. But maybe we see a little bit of the top this year. Maybe. Never know.
So at the halfway point, I wanted you to scroll all the way down and up real quick because I didn't want you to see it,
Yeah.
but it looked really favorable for us. We were 29-12 at after game 41 for you.
Whoa.
So I thought we were going to be like 58, 60 wins, and I was like, this will be a really healthy. This will be a nice little reality dose when we see the results. We're not going to get to 60 wins. I don't think. I think it could be in play in a weaker West, and we just felt like we have more of an identity figured out. The
Yeah.
beginning of the year, I don't think we're going to go 7-0 or 6-1. I think we might lose a game that we are anticipating winning because I think we're going to have growing pains. I think this team isn't figured out yet. I think we're trying to like smoke and mirrors a lot of this whole crap in media by saying, "Hey, we got to figure it out. Oh, we're looking so much better today." Of course, we're going to look better every day. I also feel like there's going to be a lot of people crossing over each other, like Cat and Gobert fighting for rebounds. Like, where does Jaden rotate to? Like, he's a natural three, but like, what he was like a resistance defender in a lot of ways. Like, he would like be behind the play to dunk, to block it and stuff like that.
Yep.
Now he has to like catch up to shooters, and he might be in foul trouble 5 minutes in, right? So, like, I'm worried sometimes about like the depth of like the Jaden starting versus like Prince or something like that, or like can Cat actually guard fours? I'm a little concerned about some of those when the teams go small, and we're gonna have to figure that out early, and then also like a game plan against it, so threes don't kill us in the league that they notoriously do. And Cat has to prove it this year, big time. Like even more than just be the best shooter of all time and tout it out loud and say it all the time. He has to actually prove it defensively more so than he has in years past because he's now people are shooting threes instead of twos over him, right? So it's like one more layer that he needs to be better at. And he's notoriously been in foul trouble his entire career, so we'll see how that works. But I am so happy that we did this. I'm also very happy that you have done this for the first time blindly without doing it prior, and have a great I think positive take on the team. Whereas I was worried when I was thinking about this the first time we didn't record this session, and we did, and looking like what Vegas was saying was true. I think we're better than what Vegas says, and I think picking the over is a safe bet, one of the safest bets in the NBA right now. And I think this team is going to scare every opponent. I don't think a single opponent has 100% game plan for us. And while we are going to have our own struggles, our expectations are so high. The reality is, I think our floor is so much better than it's ever been. And I think we're going to win games just by talent alone, just by being out there. And another obvious fact is certain teams are going to figure themselves out early, and they're going to say, you know what, it's time for Wembanyama. So we're going to have the benefit of the doubt on that. And 5 teams are just going to be like, I'm not interested in playing games anymore. Like, it's going to be like obvious.
Yeah.
So
it is. I love what you said about everybody's going to take us seriously this year because they're going to be scared of matchups. I think that is going to be really the test for us because, in previous years, I think people may have kind of laughed at the Timberwolves and been like, oh, yeah, these are my games off. I'm going to take it easy and probably still win. This year, every game is going to be taken very seriously by the opponent, and they are going to be game planning intensely against us. Not just like, oh, we're game planning because it's another regular season game. They're like, hey, this Timberwolves is different, and we have to know what we're going to do. And if somebody figures something out early in the season that just totally throws off our offense or defense, we're going to have to learn a lot, and we're going to have to mature a lot as a team.
yeah.
And I mean, if I had to say the one thing that I'm probably the most worried about is our maturity. Just because, we have people like Carl Anthony Towns that are very, very confident in themselves, which is a good thing to be. It's always good to be confident in yourself. But I think it's also good to be humble and reflect. And I think that that is maybe not a strong suit.
dude. And I think we plugged a lot of holes this offseason. And I think Gobert is going to be such a healthy dose of reality for Cat. And that exact
Yes.
point you made. I
Mhm.
think whatever he's thinking about himself is wrong in lots of ways. And Gobert is going to correct him. And I think he's going to bring a winning mentality and or maybe more or winning habits. Like
Yeah.
a mentality is going to be up to you, but habits and habit forming can be built and built within like a group of people. So you monkey see, monkey do kind of thing. And Cat's going to see what Gobert is doing and replicate that. So other things like, I think our guards are going to be awesome this year. Like Noel, I wouldn't say 6 man of the year candidate, but just like much improved role.
Mhm.
And we're going to need him. And Bryn Forbes feels like we're not missing a step with Beasley. We have the same amount of efficiency with Bryn, maybe
Yep.
even like a quicker like mindset to shoot. Like we
Mhm.
had those fucking like years of Mike Miller and Brandon Rush, and they're just so reluctant to shoot. I think Bryn Forbes is just a trigger. You just
Yes.
can't wait to pull it. And
Mhm.
I'm really happy about that. Like we found that type of player. And Austin Rivers for like defensive purposes. And we have these holes that are filled.
Yep.
And yeah, maybe not Beverly like leadership, but we have like leadership from like by example. So
I know. I really I like our bench. And I was saying this all preseason, but like, our starters went out there and they weren't necessarily playing super well all the time because they're all still getting used to each other. But then the bench came in, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it feels like they were like a very plus bench compared to other teams' benches.
yeah.
So I like that ability because we've relied so much on our starting five in the past 2 decades. So to be able to have like a pretty strong bench, it might seem silly to other teams that have had better benches or just have more successful franchises, but like for us, this is really good.
Yeah.
um, and I am very excited about the Noels and like you said, the Bryn Forbes, the Austin Rivers, Nate Knights, all of them. I'm very excited to see. So
Mhm. And versatility of Torian Prince and Kyle Anderson, they can play the 3, the 4, and in
mhm,
some very rare instances, like Kyle Anderson can play the 5, like point Draymond for us too, which is super weird
that is
and needed. Like we've seen it in the preseason where Kyle Anderson is bringing the ball up
yes, yeah,
because it's like a trust that we can already like rely on.
he's our Ben Simmons,
Yeah,
kind of.
and Ben Simmons is a glorified Vanderbilt, and so
That's true. Wow,
Kyle
back
Anderson is
back to built
yeah,
from day one. It's
yeah.
been full circle. Um, well, cool. Well, we did our little recap of or not recap. It's the season's not over. We did our
Dude, what
preview.
a season that was.
Yeah, what a season! That felt like a good season. 51 wins for
Yeah.
me. What was your ending total?
Yep. I have us as 53 and 29 when it's all
Wow.
said and done. I might be doing some small tweaks here and there with other teams because I haven't finished the other teams. But yeah,
Well,
I'll share this with you when it's done. I have to actually because I owe my friend this by tomorrow, so I have to finish this. Actually, it was by tonight. I had to finish it, but whatever. I have 20
well,
minutes left. So
that's okay. But uh well, we'll see. I feel like I had a dream about this, doing another one, and I was a little bit lower, but I feel pretty good right now.
yeah,
I think I
it
made
was
some good tweaks.
yeah. You gotta
Uh,
stop dreaming. You gotta start believing.
I do have to start believing in
I
tonight
heard that song at Brothers once.
at Brothers. Yeah, God. We're really bringing back everything from
Yeah,
that dream I had.
the dream. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but, anyways, that's it for me and Ashwin. Wolves After Dark. We are live after every Timberwolves game.
Maybe,
Uh,
probably.
Mostly, sometimes, probably. Join our Discord, but link will be in the description below. If you like this video, please like it. We're gonna have some more content coming out throughout the year. Probably trying to go for monthly videos, but we do the mostly after every game shows. And we will be doing shows after the game here in the beginning of the season. But as mentioned previously, I will be at some of these games, and it's not going to be super easy for me to get home and start recording very quickly. So it might be truly Wolves After Dark, Wolves After
Yeah.
Midnight. But yes, awoo.
Oh.
Any final words from you, Ashwin?
No, get pumped, get hype. Um, all those media naysayers, I think they can go to hell. I think this is gonna be a really fun year this year, and even the growing pains, even the times when we lose and are like kind of frustrated, and we want to shout out like "trade cat." Those are gonna be healthy moments for us to grow. We're gonna have 3 game slips. We're gonna have 4 game win loss streaks, and we're just gonna like worry about that. But like that's gonna help build our team, build our character. We get to rebound now, and then hopefully find our prime at the end of the season. At the end of the season, so
Yep,
I
that's the
can't
hope.
wait. I can't wait to do this again with you. Like this is a really fun thing that we've found ourselves doing, and it's been a passion project. And it's more of a passion when you guys all are involved. And like it's been great to have you guys all for the ride so far. Can't wait to have more of you join us.
True. Very exciting. Well, we'll see you all later this season, and hopefully the Timberwolves are really winning over 50 games this year, because then we'll have a lot of good stuff to talk about. We'll see you after a game. Peace out.